I will let you ask your own question, though someone did hand one in here, so why don't we start with this? They don't indicate who the question is for, but I think it's a state, somebody in the state representative, probably. Okay, so we have maybe Terry or Dick could answer the question. Governor Kasich has quote-unquote rainy day fund over $1.4 billion taxpayer money. Why can't that money in part be used for vital issues? Dick, I'll let you try first and give you a minute here.
Sure, I don't think I need the microphone to be heard. One of the things that I want to mention is that my opponent is in favor of House Bill, I believe it's 492. And 492 would rob $1 billion from the current rainy day fund. Brings me back to the Ted Strickland era of we'll leave 89 cents in there, or 69 or whatever they left when he left office. That fund is just that, a rainy day fund. I understand there's going to be a fairly substantial donut hole or next year a deficit in terms of funding for the state. We're going to need to fill that hole. We may need to use that rainy day fund, not use it for, this was particularly for an infrastructure bill that would involve both grants and loans to small government. My personal feeling is I'd rather give those dollars, if the money's available, back without strings attached. In talking to all of the local trustees and all of the townships, one of the things they've all mentioned is they don't have the staff or the people to write grants. They would rather, and I trust their judgment after visiting all of those townships, to be able to do that without intervention and without having to jump through hoops to receive those funds. So I'm not in favor of House Bill 492. I think those dollars are there just for an emergency, not to be used for basic infrastructure. And if we want to do that, then we should legislate that to happen in other ways.
Thanks, Dave. Okay, so that your question can be heard by everyone, and we can even video it, we'd like you to step up to the microphone here for asking your question. Okay, so who wants to go first? Mike, come on over. Please use the microphone, and please form your words in the form of a question. Thank you.
This is the County Cars representative. I'm Mike Elliott from Avon Lake, one of the original members here. As a commissioner of Lorraine County, what will County Car's position be with regard to immigrants and refugees being brought to Lorraine County by force of federal government?
Because that is...
Step up to the microphone as well, if you would. Thank you.
That is an absolute excellent question. And because I'm going here speaking on her behalf as a fan of hers who believes in her, will be voting for her. What I want you to do, we have flyers in the back that have her email address, and she wants to directly answer any questions that anyone should have today. And I just don't feel comfortable answering for her because that is a very good question. So please get in touch with her, and she will be answering any of your questions. And the information is on the flyer in the back on how to get in touch with her.
Okay, Mike, or yeah, would you step up to the microphone, Tom, please? And if there's others, please line up behind him. And please direct it to someone, and direct your question to a person if you have.
As a former county commissioner, I dealt a lot with the budget. My question is for Chris. You stated that you have a lot of ties with the current judges. That brings up concerns to me because of the way they go through and they order their budgets, and that they cost the county over $30 million in their fiscal irresponsibility by just ordering the budget. How are you going to come in and get the other judges, being that there's going to be, I believe, 8 other judges you'll be working with, or 5 other, I'm sorry, I can't remember which one you were in, 5 other judges to go through and reduce the budget? We can't continue to add more taxes onto the people of Lorraine County. We have sheriff deputies that are underfunded. As glad you can attest to that. Other parts of the counties need help, but the judges are taking the majority of the budget. What are you going to do?
Thanks, Tom.
David, you said this was a friendly group.
Well, we're just being informal, so it's easy for everybody here.
Well, I appreciate the question, Tom, and particularly as a former commissioner, you understand that issue very well. There are 6 general division judges. If I win this election, I will be one of the 6. And the judges do request a budget. They're funded by the county general fund. And unfortunately, Commissioner Williams is correct. In the past, the judges, being unhappy with the amount of the budget that the commissioners allocated, made orders. And I won't get into the legality and the constitutional issues of judges having an ability to order funds to run their court. The best way I can answer the commissioner's question is I would do everything in my power to avoid spending taxpayers' money to fight judges against commissioners. The commissioners are charged with managing your money. The commissioners are voted by you to fund government and make sure county government works. And only as an absolute last resort would I ever agree to sign off on an order making your elected commissioners do something that they chose not to do. I can't stand up here and say I would never ever do that. I don't want to box myself in, but I would do everything I could to work with the judges, work with the commissioners to manage the court's funds within the realm of funds that the elected commissioners gave us to work with. And again, absent an extraordinary situation, I cannot see myself ordering commissioners to do something. So I hope that answers the question, and I appreciate the opportunity to respond.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, next question. No other questions? Diane?
I want to know if the UAW meetings, do they have donuts?
Diane's question is if the UAW meetings have donuts. They don't have donuts. So you know what? We need to give a big thank you to Ed and Linda Burke for the donuts. And the coffee, we need to give a big thank you to Don Gregory. Are you here, Don? I just have to tell you something funny. My husband and I run Penton's Farm Market. And Andy will say, you know, that guy came in and he brought me another bag of coffee. And no kidding, every week, Don would bring another kettle of ground up coffee. We're supplied for coffee for years. And as long as we have coffee, we have meetings. So we'll be meeting for a while. Thanks, Don. Okay, any other questions? Delbert, you have a question?
Yeah, come on, Delbert. Go for it.
No, madam, I'll hold my peace.
No. Are you not?
Oh, okay. Anyone else?
One more.
Well, let's see. Anybody else? Diane?
Well, I heard Mike say that he had one more. Were you serious?
Okay. We'll go for a second question from Mike, unless we got somebody else.
No. See,
Yeah, I know.
you encouraged me to come to this.
Yeah, that's right.
I know it's a little,
Yeah.
keep it to a question though,
I
Mike.
listened carefully. This has, I think this will be 10.
It'll be recorded and we'll send them the video of your question.
First of all, you know, all these taxes just drive me nuts. But within the request here, I found a couple of things promising. Number 3, renewal of the TB clinic. It says Lorraine County is responsible for all outbreaks within its jurisdiction.
Dealing with outbreaks.
Right. Now, I don't know if everybody's aware of this, but TB is back.
Yep.
And it's growing in Southern California, mostly where there's immigrants and people coming in from foreign nations, because their health records and so on are not being checked. My grandfather died of tuberculosis. I remember the TB sanatoriums. Some of us from that generation will remember those. I hope they don't come back, but I am very concerned that that's something that's coming back. And within that context, so they're asking for taxes for that. Then we also have this thing about the I don't know who wrote these up, you know?
Yeah.
Because I don't want-
Mike Moats put that together, huh? Mike, did you want to say anything?
Well, I mean, all I did, I just called the information. To be
Okay.
honest, I know there's more than I, and then
Well, there's been reference to the opioid epidemic, and I'll find the exact phrase here. There's been reference to the increase in crime, the increase in heroin use under this item 2, for more money for the drug war and so on. But Ted, this year, I'd like to know how much of that is related to new people coming into this country and the fact that we're not protecting the borders. How much is going on in Lorraine County that we don't know about? So you can ask for tax money all you want, and do they say that it's going to solve it? No, they just want more money. But I'd like to know what's driving it. Why are they running out of money? I don't think we have enough information, so if Ted was here, I'd ask him to answer that, but he's not here.
Mike, are you talking about the 9/11? 9/11,
Well, I think they all come together, the crime area. A few years ago, they asked us to that, and notice everything's for a $100,000 home. I didn't know there was any of those. And I don't know if that's market value or assessed valuation, but yes, we hear about the heroin. I don't,
Yes,
what I'm trying to say is all of our communities are having new people come from different lands into our communities, and they're not being checked. And I think that this is coming down on us, and nobody's telling us how much of it is and where does it end. So I'm just raising a question about it, that's all.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks.
As a commissioner, they're a fiscal responsibility, they're a fiscal officer, they're not going to be able to answer that question for you. That would have to go to the sheriff, that would have to go to Homeland Security. County commissioners don't have an answer on that. And people that know me know I'm not a big cable supporter, but to be fair to him, that goes above the pay grade. Now, what I can tell you is on the crime lab, the state actually provides that service for free,
Okay, Tom.
and you wouldn't have to actually pay for that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, right, thank you. Adelbert, question?
I'm motivated now by the TV question. This $410,000 per year, is that to continue the contract with Mercy Regional Medical Center? Or is it to set up a separate bureaucracy?
I'm guessing we don't have anybody who's here, unless somebody knows the details of where the money's going to go once it's passed. But it's recorded here, and maybe, Mike, we can include a list of these questions once we have the video.
yeah.
Okay, and we can forward them.
I would like to know, because I don't want another bureaucracy. I'm against disease and all the bad things that afflict mankind. Let me mention this. 5 years ago, the clinic was closed. In 1965, my brother was a new doctor, and he was appointed as doctor for the clinic at 65. Already at that time, it had a ebbing or falling off population. Okay? So for more or less like good old, I can't say good old, but classical diseases like tuberculosis, syphilis was vanishing. They were looking for cases. But the question is, are you going to maintain a separate bureaucracy and keep that going for 30-some years and then going out and hunting for patients? Or are you going to be sensible and maintain the contract with Mercy Regional Medical Center? And I don't work for doctors or anything like that.
Okay, thank you, Adelbert. Okay, okay, up front here we have a question.
Since I got it. I have a question for the additional income for the alcohol and drug addiction. And some of the questions that I want to ask to Peggy, what are the residential programs and where are they? And who runs the residential programs? And do you fund any private organizations that are now beginning residential programs that are, many of them sponsored by churches.
There really are no residential in Lorraine County. We have the Key, which is a women's facility. There is a new facility being opened called Primary Purpose on 254. I believe that's going to be met. And that's one of the things that needs to come into the county itself is we don't have adequate facilities for them. We have sober housing, which is after they've gone through, and they're getting their lives on track. Recovery House is one of those. As far as the private that we fund, what we do is we have federal and state funding that we pass through to them. There are guidelines that we have to follow. Some of it is just push through that we get, and then we give it to them, to the organization. It does not, we have no control over anything other than we process it for them. Yeah, they have to produce claims. One of them is Lakata, and they do it for a women's program. Lorraine Ubana is another, and that is prevention. Some of it is prevention, some of it is treatment. Lakata and Big Brothers and Big Sisters is prevention. We have, for detox, two of the places that we have is Orca House, which is in Cleveland. New Directions is for adolescents. That's also in Cleveland. There is no detox facility in Lorraine County. So if somebody needs to be detoxed, they have to go out. I know Orca House keeps so many beds for Lorraine County, but their main focus is Cuyahoga County. So we're kind of looking to bring, help get a detox facility in here so that people can get treatment.
How long would the detox program last? Is it just to get them through that period, or is there any long-term care?
That's what we're planning on. Detox, get them through their withdrawal part, and then the recovery, the residential, that will, normally a program, you're looking at 28 days, that it's, your basic detox, which gets you off, and then how do I survive now? What do I do now? So it's the residential, it's recovery programs.
Due to the emergency in Lorraine County, how long do you see before these are implemented post if the tax passes or the issue passes?
I personally can't answer that question for you. I can...
Maybe you could talk to each other afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, thanks, Peggy. All right, we got 2 questions, all right? So these will be our last 2 questions.
I have a follow-up to this.
Okay, come on up here.
I just want to follow up on that question. Our church, Pittsfield Community Church, has opened its doors to Lakata, and we have a intensive outpatient treatment 3 days a week in Southern Lorraine County, meeting in our church building. So that's a start. Church Beyond the Walls in Elyria has purchased a school building, and they want to open a private treatment center, but they have to install a sprinkler system, which is hundreds of thousands of dollars, so they're working on that funding. But there are things going on between the clergy in Lorraine County and some of these other organizations. We're working to try to help.
Could you tell everyone your name and your church?
Pastor Jonathan Cheatham, Pittsfield Community Church. There's a whole group of clergy in Southern Lorraine County who have come together, and we're all trying to work with EMS, fire, police, and try to help with this epidemic without spending more tax dollars necessarily, but just getting people involved.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and Howard, do you want to come up, please?
Just want to know when we can put yard signs up. What's the date?
I should know that since I have one of those binders at home for the Amherst Township. I'm thinking it's 30 days before. There's got to be some professionals here. 30 days before. Is that pretty consistent around the whole county? change?
Some communities don't object if they're out a little earlier.
Okay.
Most of us kind of agree to the 30-day rule. We don't want to get calls from upset voters saying, why are your signs out already?
Okay, so 30 days before, so I'd say that'd be about October 8th. And then I know in Amherst Township, you need to clean them up pretty quick like afterwards, so. Okay.
Is that 30 days before the
Election.
early?
Oh.
I'm sorry.
When is the election exactly? It just goes on. Yeah, okay. Okay, I think that's Ethelyn. Did you have a question? All right. All right, last question. This is Ethelyn. She's a wonderful contributor to our group. Thank you, Ethelyn.
This would be about Rob Portman, and I don't know whether you'd be able to answer the question or not, but I had a concern that I believe it was the 2014 election, and I believe the state was Mississippi, but Tea Party candidate Chris McDaniels ran against Thad Cochran, and Rob gave $25,000 to Thad to run against the Tea Party candidate. And I'm wondering why he chose between those two, why they couldn't run against each other, and why money came, I believe it came from his private donations to Rob, that then he transported them on or passed them on to Thad and gave Thad, my opinion, an unfair advantage over Chris McDaniels.
Good question.
I can tell you I have no idea on God's green earth why that transaction took place. I don't know. I could find out for you. I could give you an email address if you would want to pursue it, but I'd be happy to ask the question and get an answer for you because I have no idea. So,
Thank you, Tommy.
thank you.
Yeah. If you want more information, you look on Breitbart.com. They wrote a lot about that. Okay. All right. Well, that is the, oh, wait, we got one more great thing. Okay. We have a book drawing at the end of each of our meetings. And today's book is The Original Intent by David Barton. And the winner is David Levin. Oh my. Now you know the rule. Yeah. Well, it hasn't really come to pass yet, but you got to give a book report next month. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Yeah, Kirsten, real quick. Also,
Yes.
yeah, I just want to, again, before we close out.
Yeah.
I just want to thank and make you all aware and be looking for the bookshelf over here for donations there's donations for Liberty groups. There's a bunch of great Liberty-based books over there, and we're very pleased to offer that.
Yeah, please go by his table. He's got some awesome books, good prices, and the whole shoot match. Thank you for coming every week, Bill, or every month. Okay. Howard, do you have an announcement?
Yeah, since this campaign for president has been so short on issues, you may be interested at 4 o'clock today. Gary Johnson is having a rally in New York City to try and get himself into the debates so that we can talk about issues.
Okay. Howard's announcing that Gary Johnson is trying to get into a debate that's happening 4 o'clock today in New York City. So this is a free platform for all parties right here. Thank you very much. And we'll see you next month. We'll be doing active stuff supporting candidates, so watch your email.